Hello class, welcome back to our lecture on income taxation. Today, we will discuss Module 2 of the course. We will divide it into two parts. So we will discuss first Module 2, Part 1.
Well, we are now going to chapter 2 of our subject, which are the concepts of income. So at the end of this lesson, students should be able to define income for taxation purposes, identify the inclusions in gross income, identify the taxable and non-taxable gross income, identify the classification of gross income for individuals, classification of gross income from business, discuss the treatment of fringe benefit for taxation purposes, determine the taxability of passive income, and identify the tax rates applicable to income subject to creditable withholding tax at source and final taxes.
So let's have a definition first of what is income. Okay, income refers to all wealth which flows into the taxpayer other than a mere return of capital. So notice these words that I have underlined. Okay, so all wealth meaning it may refer to all gain or profit. And the other underlined words is other than a mere return of capital, meaning income is gained, derived, and severed from capital. So for example, namuhunan ka ng isang or gagawa ka ng isang ng pizza, then kasi bebenta mo online, 'di ba? So for example, ang puhunan mo is like um 1,000 pesos. Okay? Then nagawa mo na yung pizza lahat para 'di ba, na-prepare mo na yung mga ingredients for about 1,000 pesos. And when you sold it, binebenta mo na yung finished product mo, meron kang income na 5,000 pesos. Lahat-lahat. So ang gagawin mo, i-deduct mo yung capital mo from that kabuuang kita mo. So that will be 5,000 less 1,000 capital. So magkano ang yung income? Your income will be, tama, 4,000 pesos. Okay? Income includes gain, earning derived from labor, which may refer to service or employment. Capital may refer to business or investment, or both labor and capital. Gain derived from sale or exchange of personal or real property, either ordinary or capital asset. So kapag nagbenta ka or nagpalitan kayo ng mga properties, so that may be considered as income. Now, let's have a let's differentiate income from other terms which may be similarly related to it, such as capital and income. Okay? Well, capital is the fund and income is the flow. And capital is the tree in metaphorical sense. Metaphor sense. Capital is the tree and income is the fruit. Now, how about income and revenue? Diba? They seems to be related. Well, income is derived by the government, diba? Whether from taxes or other sources, while income is derived by the individuals and private corporations. So, pag sinabing revenue, sa government yan. Pag income, sa private individuals and corporations. Okay? Next, income and gross receipts. Well, gross receipts is broader in scope because it may constitute the capital and income. So, yung earlier example ko, yung 5,000 na nakuha mo, nabenta mo, 'di ba? That is your gross receipt. While your income, it's narrow in concept, limited only to the gain derived from labor, excluding the exclusion. So, i-deduct mo doon yung capital mo. So, from 5,000 minus 1,000, that will be 4,000 income. Okay?
So after knowing the differences of income from other terms, we have to know what are the requisites for an income to be taxable, because not all income are taxable. So here, number one, we must remember that there must be a gain or profit. This gain or profit may be in cash or its equivalent. Now, second requirement, that the gain must be realized or received, whether actual realization or constructive receipt. This implies that not all economic gains are taxable. So kapag sinabi mong actual realization, nagmamaterialize na yung gain mo or income mo, probably in the form of cash or in kind, and it's already in your possession. So for example, no, your compensation income. Kapag sinabi mo namang constructive receipt, we have a doctrine here, the doctrine of constructive receipt of income. So this means that income which is credited to your account and set apart for a taxpayer and which may be drawn by him at any time is subject to tax for the year it was so credited or set apart, although not yet then actually received or reduced to his possession. So in doctrine, no, for example, for those who are working in a company where their salary is given or being given in the form of check, assuming that the payroll of that employee, say X, was prepared on October 28 and his salary was set apart. So na-prepare na yung payroll, no? And it was written on a check and maybe in cash by him at any time. However, so that employee, si X, he only encashed the check on January 2 of the following year. So that income he received and encashed is taxable for the year that his salary was prepared and set apart for his name and not the following year when he encashed the check. So remember that. So another example of this doctrine of constructed receipt of income is rental payment. So assume that you are the lessor and you are leasing out your property to a lessee. So this lessee is giving you the payment of the rental. However, you, the lessor, are refusing to accept the payment of the rental because of a dispute or a legal issue between you and your lessee. So what the lessee did is he tendered the payment and made a judicial deposit of the rental payment to the court on December 2020. And assuming that the case, the legal dispute, was only resolved by the court the following year and the decision was not in your favor, you have no recourse but to claim the rental payment deposited by the lessee to the court. So in that case, that amount of rental payment is taxable on the year 2020, on the year the amount was deposited to the court, and not on the year 2021 when the case was finished, okay, or when you were only able to get the payment from the court. And finally, number 3, the gain must not be excluded by law or treaty from taxation. Ibig sabihin nito that not all income is required to be included in computing the taxable income. So kapag may batas or a treaty expressly providing for exclusion of a particular income from taxation, then that gain or profit or income is not taxable. Okay?
So we have classifications of income for individuals. Number 1 is compensation income. Ito madali lang naman to. So these are income derived from the rendering of services under an employment contract, or if there's an employer-employee relationship. Ba? So nagtrabaho kayo sa isang kumpanya, then that income na kinikita mo is called a compensation income. How about the professional income? So these are fees derived from engaging in an endeavor requiring a special training. So ito yung mga fee ng mga certified public accountants, ng mga doctors, ng mga lawyers, engineers, and etc. How about business income? Ano to? These are gains or profits derived from rendering services, selling merchandise, manufacturing products, and others. How about passive income? passive income is an income in which the taxpayer merely waits for the amount to come in, such as interest income. Okay? So, pag may account ka sa bank at nilagay mo lang yung money nun, ba? You will it will definitely earn an interest. Okay? How about royalty income? Ito naman yung mga pag nagsulat ka ng libro, 'di ba? And even if wala ka nang ginagawa, 'di ba? And as long as may mga bumibili pa rin ng book mo, 'di ba? You are still earning a royalty income. Dividend income, ito naman yung mga kapag sa shares of stock, 'di ba? Kapag meron kang biniling stock from a corporation and which that corporation is distributing dividends, yung mga kinita niya, 'di ba? Binidistribute niya yan sa mga stockholders niya. So that income is called a dividend income. And finally, winnings and prizes, ba? Like mga lotto, so we can say that these are passive income. And finally, capital gain. Ano ba yung capital gain? These are gain from dealings in capital asset. Yung mga capital assets ito yung mga property held by the taxpayer and is used in trade or business. So let's talk about the sources of income. Our income may be sourced from any property, activity, or service that produces the income. So we have this income derived from whatever source, such as and not limited to illegal gains or bad debt recovery and others. One of the factors that affect the treatment of income, whether it is subject to tax or not, is the source of income, the situs of taxation. Okay, so we have three classification of sources of income. Number one is income from sources within the Philippines. So these are the any property, activity, or service that is produced within the Philippines. Okay, and thus it is taxable. There are also, secondly, there are also income from sources without the Philippines. This means those property, activity, or service that produce the income outside of the Philippines. Okay, Philippine jurisdiction. And thirdly, there are also income from sources partly within and partly without the Philippines. So let's give an example. So I have here a table containing on the left side the items of income. These are the taxable income, okay, as provided by the National Internal Revenue Code. On the right side are the factors in determining the source of that taxable income. Okay? So number one, in the items of income are the interests. Okay? So interest derived from sources within the Philippines and interest on bonds, notes, or other interest-bearing obligations of residents, corporate, or otherwise. The factors to be considered or the factor to be considered in determining the source of income is the residence of the debtor, the one who pays the interest on the obligations, on the bonds, notes, or loans. So, for example, the the bank or you, Mr. X, borrowed from Y, a foreign bank located outside the Philippines, ba? A sum of money. In that case, assuming that interest have accrued on that loan, nagkaroon ng interest dun sa loan na yon, that interest, and you as the borrower is residing and living in the Philippines and or engaging in business here in the Philippines, the situs or the source of that income from the foreign bank is a source from income within the Philippines. Okay? So, it depends saan nakatira si debtor, hindi kung nasaan si creditor yung nagbibigay. Okay? So, next item is dividends or dividends. Um, the, the factor to be considered is the residence of the corporation paying the dividend. So, for example, si Jollibee, diba, corporation, he declared and give dividends to its stockholders, ba? Since Jollibee's principal office is located in the Philippines, the source of that income, the dividends, is a source from within the Philippines. Okay? How about Louis Vuitton products? Okay? If the principal office of Louis Vuitton product is outside the Philippines, then that dividends that may be declared by Louis Vuitton company will be sourced, okay, from income or from without the Philippines. Okay. Next item is services, referring to the compensation for labor or personal services, uh, and the factor to be considered is the place of performance of service. So if your services was rendered here in the Philippines and you were paid for it, then that income from services is sourced from within the Philippines. Hence, it is taxable in the Philippines. Okay. How about rentals and royalties? So the factor to be considered is the location of the property or interest in such property. Oh, so if your rental or if the rental of your property or if your property is located in the Philippines, such rental income is taxable here in the Philippines because it is an income source from within the Philippines. On the other hand, if your property is located in the United States and you are earning rental income from it, then that rental income is not taxable in the Philippines but may be taxable in the United States because this income is sourced from without the Philippines. Okay? Next, number 5, sale of real property. So when you say sale of real property, this refers to the gains, profit, or income from the sale of your real property such as land, house, or anything that is immovable. So the factor to be considered is the location of the property. Next, number 6 is the sale of personal property. So we have two items here which has different rule. So if you sell, for example, a cell phone, so let's apply it to letter A, purchase within and sold without. So if you purchase probably a brand new cell phone here in the Philippines and you went out of the state and you sold it there outside the Philippines, the country in which you sold the item will be the factor. Thus, your income from that sale is sourced from income without the Philippines. Okay? Thus, it is not taxable in the Philippines. Okay? It may not be taxable. Let me correct myself. On letter B, the item or probably the cell phone was produced within. So first one is purchase. Here on letter B, produce. So there is a production within and sold without So, for example, what example can I give? Sale of you are producing uh, bananas in the Philippines and you sold it without. So the source of income is partly within and partly without. So we will know the implication later on. Okay, what's the difference or what is it in partly within and partly without? The Philippines. Is it taxable in the Philippines? Is it not? So let's see. Then last but not the least is the sale of shares of stock in domestic corporation. For example, you are a stockholder of a domestic corporation and you sold it in the to someone in the Philippines. So the source of income is entirely from sources within, regardless of where such shares are sold. For example, you sell the shares of stock you own from Jollibee to someone from the state. You sold it there. In that case, the source of income is still as an income from within. Okay? So now let's take a look at the general principles of income taxation as provided for in section 23 of the National Internal Revenue Code or the tax code. Okay, so ito yung mga general principles that you need to know in order to move forward. Okay, in our lesson. Number 1, a citizen of the Philippines residing therein residing in the Philippines is taxable on all income derived from sources within and without the Philippines. So pag sinabing within, ito yung mga income na na-derive mo sa mga sources from within the Philippines. Okay? And on the other hand, kapag sinabi namang without, ito naman yung mga sources of income mo from outside the Philippines. Okay? So, if you are a resident citizen or a citizen of the Philippines, like us, diba? And you're also residing in the Philippines, your taxable income are all your income from within and without the Philippines. So, remember that. Secondly, are the non-resident citizen, they are taxable only on income derived from sources within the Philippines. So, who are these non-resident citizen naman? Yung mga non-resident citizen, they are Filipino citizen, but they are not or no longer living here in the Philippines. Okay? So, probably they went abroad or for a period of time for at least 6 months. Okay? And thus they are they are already tagged as non-resident citizen. So, saan sila taxable? Taxable lang sila dito sa Pilipinas from sources if their income was derived from sources within dito sa Pilipinas lang. So for example, 'di ba, yung tita mo sa nandun na, ano na siya, citizen na siya ng ibang bansa. Okay? Pero meron siyang property na pinapaupahan dito sa Pilipinas. So, since your auntie is deriving an income from sources within the Philippines, then that income is taxable here in the Philippines. Okay? Number 3, an individual citizen of the Philippines who is working and deriving income from abroad as an overseas contract worker is taxable only on income from sources within the Philippines. So this has the same principles as number 2. Okay? So this may refer to all OFW. Right. Number 4, an alien individual, whether a resident or not of the Philippines, is taxable only on income derived from sources within the Philippines. Okay? So, sino-sino tong alien individual? Of course, these are foreign individuals, no? So, they are not Filipino citizens. And they may be a resident, okay, in the Philippines. They have been living here in the Philippines for at least 180 days. or they may not be living here for 180 days. So, kaya sila resident alien or non-resident alien. So, tandaan nyo yung sa resident tsaka non-resident within and without the Philippines. They are only taxable from sources within the Philippines. Pag sinabing resident alien or non-resident alien, taxable lang sila from sources within the Philippines. Okay, let's go to the corporation. A domestic corporation. So we have two, domestic or foreign. Pag domestic, pag sinabing domestic, they are registered or incorporated here in the Philippines. Whereas a foreign corporations are those organized and registered outside or outside of the Philippines, okay, or from the other states. So a domestic corporation, they are taxable on all their income derived from sources within and without. So kagaya siya ng isang resident citizen, number 1, okay? And number 6, a foreign corporation, whether engaged or not in trade or business. So pag sinabing foreign corporation engaged in trade or business or FCETB, foreign corporation sila pero meron silang probably extension dito sa Pilipinas or branch, 'di ba? Whereas foreign corporation not engaged in trade or business or FCNETB, sila naman yung mga hindi sila wala silang business sa Pilipinas. Siguro mga ang tawag nito, yung transaction probably nila is very limited dito sa Pilipinas. So kapag sinabi mong foreign corporation, taxable lang mo sila from sources within the Philippines. Okay, gets? Now we have already discussed the definition of income. Proceed naman tayo dun sa definition ng gross income. So ano ba yung gross income? Gross income refers to all income derived from whatever source, including the following. So you may use this mnemonics, card, grip, PPP. So these are the items that may be included in the computation of your taxable income. Okay, let's proceed with compensation. But compensation refers to all enumerations for services performed by an employee for his employer under an employer-employee relationship. Unless of course specifically excluded by law. So lahat ng compensation na nare-receive mo, sahod, commissions, 'di ba? These are to be taxable, right? Next is annuities. Ano naman yung annuities? It refers to annuity policies sold by insurance companies which provide installment payments for life or for a guaranteed fixed period of time, whichever is longer. The portion representing return of premium is not taxable while that portion that represent interest is taxable. So tandaan nyo yan. Ito yung mga sa insurance policy. Diba? So, nagbabayad ka ng premium. Right? In return, diba, kapag na-outlive mo yung policy, usually binabayaran ka ng insurance. So for example, so si Mr. A purchased a life annuity for 500,000 pesos. Yung binayad niya, 'di ba? Which will pay him 120,000 per year. So, sa pagbayad niya ng 500,000 pesos, ang magagaranti niya yon is babayaran siya ng insurance company ng 120,000 pesos a year. Okay, assuming that the life expectancy, yung tatagal na lang ng buhay ni Mr. A is 5 years, 'di ba? Reckoned from the date of his purchase. So, Mr. A will receive a total of 600,000 pesos because 120,000 per year multiplied by 5 years is 600,000 pesos. So, suppose yun yung marireceive niya as a whole in 5 years. Now, so out of the 600,000 to be received by Mr. A, only 500,000, the 500,000 which he paid shall be excluded from the computation of the gross income as it represents the return of premium paid, okay? While the excess, di ba, 600,000 marireceive niya, then 500 yung banayad. Yung 100,000 pesos na gain is taxable. Okay? Did you get it? Now, rent. Rents refers to the amount or compensation paid for the use or enjoyment of a thing or a right and implies a fixed sum of or property amounting to a fixed sum to be paid at a stated time for the use of the property. Ito yan, kapag may property ka, sinangla mo yon, 'di ba? Or pinaupahan mo, 'di ba? So lahat ng yon, 'di ba? Na kinita mo sa pagpapaupa are subject to tax. Okay? Except of course, lagi tayong may exception, excluded by law. Next, gross income. Diba? Derived from the exercise of a profession or conduct of trade or business. So ito yung tinatawag na professional income and business income. Diba? Yung professional income refers to the fees received by a professional from the practice of his profession, provided that there's no employer-employee relationship between him and the clients. Whereas yung business income refers to income derived from merchandising, mining, manufacturing, farming, and other similar operations. Okay, so lahat ng kinikita doon should be taxable. Now, dividends. Diba? Yung dividends, those are any distribution made by a corporation to its stockholders out of its earnings or profits and payable to its shareholders whether in money or other. So, because may income yung corporation and it is a dividend earning corporation, didistribute nyo yun sa mga stockholders niya whether in cash, cash dividend, property dividend, stock dividend, and other kinds of dividends. But for purposes of computation, only those dividends issued by a foreign corporation should be included in the computation of your income tax. Why? Kasi yung income, dividend income na in-issue ng domestic corporation. Diba? Alam niyo na, diniscuss ko earlier yung difference ng domestic corporation from foreign corporation, di ba? Since ang income nun yung dividend income nun are already subject to final tax. Okay? Pero kapag foreign corporation, ang nag-issue ng dividends, yun yung ilalagay nyo sa ledger nyo. Okay? For purposes of computation ng income tax. Okay? So, next, gross, una pala yung gross income, no? Anyways, royalties. So, yung royalties, guys, are the payments for the use of exhaustion of property such as earning from copyrights, patents, trademarks, formulas, and natural resources under the lease. So, for example, di ba, meron kang mga books na sinulat, then pinublish mo yon and it's a passive income, income generating siya. So, even if hindi ka na gumagalaw, nagbebenta, and marami pa rin bumibili. I mean, hindi ka na gumagalaw, pero marami pa rin bumibili. You're still generating income in the form of royalties. Okay? So that is included in your gross income. If derived from sources outside the Philippines. Kasi kapag um, yung royalties mo were derived from sources within the Philippines, that is subject to final withholding tax. Okay, so excluded na siya kapag within. Kasi meron ng ibang klase ng tax na magpo-fall doon. Okay? Kaya nakalagay dyan, if derived from sources without. How about interest? Diba? Interest are the amount of compensation paid for the use of money, goods or credits or forbearance from such use. Okay? So interest from bank deposits are included in the gross income if they are derived from sources outside the Philippines or where the bank is located outside the Philippines. Okay? So you should only include that. Why? Because subject na sa withholding tax kapag nandito sa Pilipinas. Okay? For bank deposits. Yung mga bank deposits nyo, di ba, nag-generate ng money yon. Hindi nyo na sinasama, ay, nag-generate ng income yon kahit maliit, di ba? Hindi nyo na i-declare yon as your gross income for purposes of your income tax kasi automatically wini-withhold na ng bangko yung tax na yun at sila na yung nagbabayad for that. Did you get it? Now, for loans naman, kunwari, interest on loans, always included siya whether within or without. Okay? Well, prizes and winnings. Ito naman yung mga prizes, di ba? Na amount of money in cash or in kind received by chance or through luck. But generally, they are taxable except if specifically mentioned under the exclusions from the computation of your gross income. Okay? So included siya if the prices are from the sources within the Philippines and it's not exceeding 10,000 pesos. Kapag lumampas ng 10,000 pesos, subject na siya ng final tax. And then yung winnings naman from dapat from sources outside the Philippines siya. Okay? So next are the gains derived from dealings in property and considered as capital asset. This includes all income derived from the disposition of property, whether real, personal, or mixed property. Ba? For example, money in case of sale, property in case of exchange. So those are to be declared in your gross income. And pensions. Pension naman, familiar kayo rito, di ba? These are the amounts of money received in lump sum or on a staggered basis in consideration of services rendered given after an individual reaches the age of retirement. Okay? But the pensions to be included in your gross income are those received from a pension plan which is not BIR approved. So, kasi ang mga pension pinapa-approve sa BIR yan usually. Pero kapag hindi, kapag BIR approved yan, excluded yan from your gross income. Pero kapag not BIR approved, i-include mo yan sa gross income mo. And finally, partners distributive share in the net income of general professional partnership. Okay? Because ano ba yung general professional? Yung general professional partnership is a partnership, diba? It's another entity and usually it's not taxable. Okay? However, it's the share of a partner in the distributive net income after tax of a business partnership is subject to final income tax and it's not included in the gross income of such share. What is included is the share of each partner in the net income. Okay? That should be included in the partner's gross income. So, ayun. So another thing that you have to know, whether the income is taxable or not taxable, is the changes made by the Train Law, diba? Which took effect last 2018, diba? And the compensation income earners, self-employed and professional taxpayers whose annual taxable incomes are 250,000 pesos or less are exempt from personal income tax. So the 13th month pay and other benefits amounting to 90,000 pesos are also tax exempt. Okay? So lahat ng ito yung sinasabi na kapag ang annual income mo is 250,000, you are exempt from payment of personal income tax. That also includes yung 90,000 pesos sa mga benefit mo, 13 month pay. Okay, those are exempt from. For the moment you exceeded this, generally that is already taxable. Okay? So let's have an exercise. Explain briefly whether the following items are taxable or non-taxable. Letter A. Income from wetting. Taxable or not taxable? Can you guess? Okay. So income from wetting is taxable because the law imposes a tax on income from any source whatever, which means that it includes income whether legal or illegal. That is under Section 32A of the National Internal Revenue Code. How about gain from expropriation of property? Nagkaroon ng bentahan ng lupa, okay, under or probably under the exercise of eminent domain by the government, kumita ka. Is it taxable or yes, taxable. Because there is a material gain not excluded by law, realized or out of a closed and completed transaction. So any gain from dealings in property is part of the gross income. Okay? So let's go to the next. How about taxes paid and subsequently refunded? For example, nagbayad ka ng tax ngayon, tapos biglang ni-refund ni BIR next year dahil nagkamali sila ng collection. Is it taxable? Is it part of the gross income? What do you think? So taxes paid and subsequently refunded may be taxable or not taxable. So depende. So taxes paid which are allowed as a deduction from gross income are taxable when subsequently refunded but only to the extent of income benefit of said deduction. So if that income na binayaran mo na inallow as deduction from your income, taxable siya kapag ni-refund sa'yo. Okay? Pag ni-refund sa'yo, pero ang extend lang siya hanggang sundun lang siya sa kung saan ka nag-benefit nung saan deduction na yon. Okay? So it follows that taxes paid which are not allowed as deduction from gross income, for example, yung income tax, donor's tax, and estate tax are not taxable when refunded. Okay? So if for example, yung income tax, nagkaroon ka ng income tax from your salary, diba, ni-refund ka, may refund ka from tax, hindi na magiging taxable yon kasi sa'yo na yon. Okay? So only those taxes na hindi income tax, hindi donor's tax, tsaka estate tax at inallow siya or deductible siya, 'di ba, dineclare mo sa gross income tapos deductible din siya as allowable deduction dun sa gross income mo, then you are allowed to or that income is taxable. Okay? Next, recovery of bad debts previously charged off. So ito naman mo yung mga bad debts na usually yung mga utang na hindi na talaga masisingil, 'di ba? Marami ba kayo nito sa mga tao? So you can declare it as bad debt. Tapos pwede mo na siyang isama as deduction from your gross income. Okay? Taxable ba? So recovery of bad debts previously charged off is taxable to the extent of income tax benefit of said deductions. For example, 2019, dineduct na siya sa gross income mo because dineclare mo na siya as bad debt. Pero come now 2021, diba, you were able to recover it or nagbayad bigla yung umutang sa'yo, then that is already taxable. Yung to the extent ng kung magkano yung na-benefit mo. Okay? Gain on the sale of a car used for personal purposes. So, nagbenta ka ng kotse. Taxable ba? Of course, it is taxable. So, this is a gain derived from dealings in property, which is part of taxpayers' gross income. So, there is a material gain not excluded by law and realized out of a closed and completed transaction. Now, we are about to discuss naman ano naman yung mga ini-exclude from gross income. Okay? So, those income received but is not included in the determination of gross income and thus not taxable, either because they represent return of capital or not income as defined by law. Okay? Second, they are subject to some kind of internal revenue tax. So, yung discussion ko kanina, 'di ba, hindi na sila ini-include some of them because they're already subject to other kind of tax like final withholding tax, okay? And thirdly, they are expressly exempt from income tax under the Constitution, tax treaty, tax code, or a generous or special law. Okay? So, exclusions are in the nature of tax exemptions, and it behooves upon the taxpayer to establish them convincingly. So, ibig sabihin yan, itong mga exclusions na i-discuss natin, para silang mga tax exemptions. Even though they are income, they should not be included in the computation of your gross income ha, because um, they are like a return of capital, or they are not income, or they may be subject to other kinds of income tax, internal revenue tax, or they may be exempt. Okay, and since they are exemptions, these are exemptions, the taxpayer has to establish proof ba, to establish yung proof nila that they are already exempt. Okay, is the items of exclusions from gross income. My mnemonics here is LRGCTRM. Okay, so ito yung mga items na excluded from gross. So the moment you see this, you don't have to include this from the computation of your gross income, taxable gross income. Okay. Okay. So first item for our inclusion is are the proceeds of life insurance. Okay. So these proceeds paid by reason of death of the insured to his estate or beneficiaries. Okay? Um, bakit ini-exclude natin 'to sa gross income? Because it is considered as indemnity rather as gain. Okay? But for you to be able to exclude it from your gross income, the proceeds must be paid to the heirs or beneficiary upon the death of the insured, whether in a single sum or otherwise. Okay? So it has to be excluded. Next item is amount received by insured as a return of premium. So this is also related to number 1. So number 1, natsugi yung insured. 'Di ba? And secondly, sa number 2 naman, na-outlive niya yung policy niya. So in that case, na-outlive niya tapos nakuha niya na yung return ng premium niya, that should be excluded because yung premium na nabalik sa kanya is just a mere return of capital. Okay? However, if the total premium returns exceed the aggregate premium paid, the excess shall be included in the gross income. So for example, yung earlier example natin, 'di ba? 500,000 pesos ang kanyang ibinayad. Okay? Tapos nung naibalik na kasi niya after 5 years, 600,000 pesos. Yung 500,000 pesos excluded, 'di ba? Pero yung 100,000 pesos na excess, that is considered income for purposes of computation. So, yung 100,000 pesos ay included, while yung 500,000 is just a mere return na premium. Okay? How about gifts, bequest, and devices? Ano ba pinagkaiba ng gifts sa bequest at devices? Yung gifts, ayun yung regalo, di ba? And binibigay siya sa'yo binigay siya sa'yo ng isang taong buhay pa. Okay? Whereas bequest and devices, ito naman yung term sa kapag sa last will and testament. Okay? Na may refer to personal or real property. Okay? Bakit hindi sila kasama sa gross income? Because they're already subject to other income, to the other types of taxes. Okay? Or kind of internal revenue taxes, such as yung ang gift subject yan sa donor's tax, whereas the bequest and devices are subject to the estate tax. Right? How about number 4? Compensation for injuries or sickness. So, usually, di ba, kapag nakakasakit ka or injury, or probably because by virtue, I mean, kapag nakakakuha ka ng compensation from that, hindi siya kasama as income. Diba? Hindi mo siya isasama for computation ng gross income mo because they are considered as indemnity rather as gain. Okay? So, usually sa mga court, sa mga court litigations, 'di ba? Usually ina-award pag may award ng damages for injury sustained, yung yon ay hindi included, or that those should be excluded from computation of your gross income. Next, um, income exempt under treaty. So, we have earlier studied ano yung treaty, di ba? So, this should be excluded because of public policy and committee between the Philippines and the various states. Right? So, number 6, retirement benefits, pensions, and gratuities. Bakit ini-exclude yan? Because they are exempt by law. The retirees are the most deserving of compassion and should not be given a strict interpretation under the law. So retirement laws aim to assist retirees in his old age, not to punish him for having survived. So there are several laws, special laws, which provide for the exemption. Totoo nga naman, di ba? Pinaghirapan niya yan eh. Buong buhay niya, nagtrabaho siya, ngayong retired na siya. Bakit kailangan ng pang-itax yung retirement benefits na nakuha niya? Okay? And some of the miscellaneous items. So, marami pang items dito which should be excluded from your gross income. Like yung passive income mo, derived by the government, financing institutions, and international regional institutions. Also, those income derived by the government or its political subdivision. Also excluded are the prizes and awards made primarily in recognition of religious, charitable, scientific, educational, artistic, literary, or civil government. Pero for it to be excluded, the prizes and awards, the following requisites must concur. Number 1, the recipient was elected without any action on his part. And secondly, recipient is not required to render substantial future services. Okay? So, how about yung kunwari nanalo ng Miss Universe. 'Di ba? Usually, 'di ba, they are required to work or to do or just do voluntary service. Kasi kapag nire-require sila to work, 'di ba? That should be included kasi merong requirement sa kanila. Pero kung mere voluntary lang naman, then they should be excluded from the income received from the prize and award should be excluded. Okay? Also, we have prizes and awards given to athletes in sports competitions. Diba? They must be sanctioned by their national sports association. Right? Next is 30th month and other benefits up to 90,000 pesos. So, excluded yan. Tandaan nyo. Okay, next is GSIS, SS Medicare, and other contributions. Of course, they should be excluded. And gains derived from sales of bonds, debentures, or other certificate of indebtedness with a maturity of more than 5 years. So kapag more than 5 years maturity niyan, yung mga gains mo from sale of that bonds are to be excluded from your gross income. And finally, gains from redemption of shares in mutual fund. Okay? So let's have a case discussion. Company A decides to close its operations due to continuing losses and to terminate the services of its employees. So under the labor code, employees who are separated from service for such cause are entitled to a minimum of one half pay for every year of service. So company A paid the equivalent of 1 month pay for every year of service and the cash equivalent of unused vacation and sick leave as separation benefits. So nag-close si company A dahil most probably hindi niya na kayang magtuloy ng business, probably because of COVID, 'di ba? Thus, terminate niya yung mga empleyado niya. And under the labor code, required ang employer, 'di ba, na magbayad ng one half month pay sa bawat taong ipinasok ng empleyado. Ngayon, ngunit si company A, galante siya, ang binayad niya ay 1 month for every year of service. So instead of the required kalahati lang. At of course, yung cash equivalent ng mga hindi nagamit na vacation tsaka sick leaves. Kinonvert niya yan as separation benefits. Ang question dito is, yung mga benefits ba nyon taxable and subject ba yun sa withholding tax under the tax code? Okay? So, what's your answer? So, the separation benefits paid by company A to its employees are excluded from gross income, being in the nature of benefits given to employees whose services were terminated due to causes beyond their control. O, nga naman, 'di ba? Tataksan mo pa ba rin ba 'yun? Sila na. But the entire benefits thus are not taxable and not subject to withholding tax under the tax code. Okay, so if may ganyang situation, 'di ba? So hindi na siya taxable dapat. Another case discussion. Noel Santos is a very bright computer science graduate. So he was hired by Hewlett Packard or HP, familiar kayo sa HP, di ba? To entice him to accept the offer for employment, he was offered the arrangement that part of his compensation would be an insurance policy with a face value of 20 million. Wow, galante ang HP. Diba? Part daw ng kanyang compensation package is an insurance policy na worth 20 million. So, syempre, ang beneficiaries nun are yung parents niya. Ngayon, the question is, will the proceeds of the insurance form part of the income of the parents of Noel and be subject to income tax? So, assuming dito namatay si Noel, diba? And of course, nabayad o naibigay yung proceeds, yung 20 million sa magulang ni Noel. Is that proceed subject to income tax? Can you guess? The answer is no. Of course, the proceeds of life insurance policies paid to the heirs or beneficiary upon the death of the insured are not included as part of the gross income of the recipient. So here, there's no income that is realized because nothing flows to Noel's parents other than the mere return of capital. The capital being the life of the insured. So walang wala naman na-realize na gain doon because that 20 million is not enough for the life of Noel. Okay? Another case discussion. So X, while driving home from his office, was seriously injured when his automobile was bumped from behind by a bus driven by a reckless driver. As a result, he had to pay 200,000 pesos to his doctor and 100,000 pesos to the hospital where he was confined for treatment. So, ang lalaki ng bayad niya. So, he filed a suit against the bus driver and the bus company And inaward siya ng court, 'di ba? Na dapat magbayad ang bus company at driver ng 300,000. Okay? And another 100,000 by way of moral damages and 50,000 sa binayad niya sa kanyang abogado. So, the question is, saan sa mga inaward ng court ay ang taxable at saan ang hindi? So, ano yung mga inaward? Number 1, damages, actual damages, magkano? 300,000 pesos. Pangalawa, inaward din siya ng moral damages. Okay? Magkano? 100,000 pesos. And finally, inawardan din siya ng attorney's fees, which is 50,000 pesos. So, saan dito ang taxable at saan ang hindi? Can you guess? Type in your answers. So, here, nothing is taxable. Nice. Why? Because under the tax code, any amount received as compensation for injuries or sickness plus the amounts for any damages received, whether by suit or agreement, on account of such injuries or sickness shall be excluded from gross income. Since the entire amount of 450,000 pesos received are award of damages on account of the injuries he sustained, all shall be excluded from his gross income. So obviously, these damages are considered by law as a mere return of capital. So naalala mo yung definition natin ng capital versus income, 'di ba? So kapag capital lang din yung bumalik sa'yo, hindi na siya dapat subject sa gross income or included. So ano ba yung difference? May naririnig kayo, excluded to sa gross income versus deduction. Deductible siya sa gross income. Okay? So, exclusions from gross income refers to a flow of wealth to the taxpayer which are not treated as part of gross income. Okay? So, tulad nga nung mga nabanggit natin kanina, 'di ba? For purposes of computing the taxpayer's taxable income due to the following reasons. Number 1, because it is exempted by fundamental law, exempted by statute, and it does not come with definition of income. So, yung mga nabanggit natin earlier are exclusions from gross income na hindi nyo na siya dapat isasama. Second, on the other hand, deductions from gross incomes refers to the amounts which the law allows to be deducted from gross income in order to arrive at net income. So, for example, you're a business owner, di ba, of a corporation, and that corporation earns this much, 100,000 pesos, or for example lang naman, di ba? And for that income, 100,000 pesos, gross income, you can deduct a business expense. For example, 10,000 pesos. So may remaining ka na 90,000 pesos. So instead of 100,000 pesos, ang taxable na lang sa income mo ng company mo is only 90,000 pesos because nagdeduct ka na ng isang item from gross income. Okay? So exclusion from gross income pertain to the computation of the gross income, while deduction pertain to the computation of net income. Exclusion from gross income refers to something that is received or earned by the taxpayer which do not form part of gross income, while deduction pertains to something spent or paid, ba? Para makuha mo o earn mo yung gross income. For example, sa exclusion, diba? Like yung proceeds ng life insurance received by beneficiary, diba? On the other hand, ang example ng deduction from gross income, yung mga business rental, business expense, diba? Yung mga nangihingi ng resibo, nagugulat na lang kayo saan ginagamit. Now, let us proceed. Taxable income. So, kanina inaral natin, ano ba yung mga requirements? Diba? Para maging yung income maging taxable siya. So number 1, there must be gain or profit, and that number 2, that income must be realized or gained whether actual or constructive. And number 3, it must not be excluded by law or a treaty because not all income are taxable. So here, it's now referring, yung taxable income refers to the pertinent items of gross income enumerated in the tax code, less the deductions, if any, and or personal exemptions authorized by law. This also refers to the amount of income upon which the tax rate prescribed by law is applied to obtain the amount of income tax payable. And thirdly, these are gains, profits, or income which are subject to income either at gross or net amount. So I have here formula that may be useful for you in computation of net income, taxable compensation income, your income tax due, and income tax payable. So there are differences, di ba? So yung taxable income, so medyo broad to. So all taxpayers, so it may cover all taxpayers, di ba? Meron silang mga taxable income. Discuss natin earlier. Next is taxable compensation income naman, refers naman to dun sa compensation income na nare-receive ng mga individuals with employers. Okay? Whereas income tax due, so after computation, dineduct mo yung mga exclusions and exemptions provided by law from your taxable income, then makakaroon ka ng income tax due. So magkano ba yung dapat mong bayaran? Ay sorry, magkano yung due sa'yo, 'di ba? Pero ang pinaka-final niyan is yung income tax payable mo. So from your income tax due, mabawas mo pa yung mga kung meron kang mga creditable withholding tax or tax credit. So these are the formulas. Okay? So for net income or taxable income, i-deduct mo yung deductions from your gross income or NI equals GI minus D. So ganun yung formula. For taxable income, compensation income, yung magkano yung gross compensation mo less kung yung mga personal and additional exemptions. And income tax due, yung net income mo, yung sa number 1, i-multiply mo by the income tax rate na pinabayad ng BIR. And finally, income tax payable, income tax due, less creditable withholding tax or tax credit.
All right, so that's the end of our part 1 discussion on module 2. For part 2, please watch out for the next video that I will be posting. I will try to post a link below this link. Thank you and God bless.